Hello, I'm Pearce and I'm working with Amy today. Amy is a 20-year-old college student with an eating disorder, and I will be interviewing her in my award-winning private practice, and I'm going to be using narrative therapy for this. Okay, Amy, so thanks for coming in today. I'm glad to have you, and can you tell me a little bit about why you're here today?
Well, I'm a little nervous, talking about this, but I just thought I've just got to come and try to get some strategies, because I'm noticing since I've been in college, things have been getting a little bit more out of control for me. So.
Okay, out of control how? What's going on?
Well, what's happened is, I was at first just eating and then really doing a lot of just extreme kind of exercising, and then I just noticed that I would eat a lot later in the day, and then this just kind of gradually happened over time, and then I would feel bad about it and get a lot of anxiety, and then I would make myself vomit.
Okay. So how long has this been happening?
It really started when I was a senior in high school. But I guess really, honestly, it started a little bit in some forms when I think about it, when I was even younger. Probably when I was maybe a freshman in high school on my soccer team. I just noticed that I was kind of gaining some weight, and my uniforms were getting a little tight. It seemed like a lot of the other girls were thinner, and so I just started kind of dieting and really thinking a lot about my food and really what I was eating and really keeping up with it. And so it really started then, and then as I kind of got into my senior year of high school, it just got a little bit more, and then when I was a freshman in college, a little bit more, and now that I'm gotten to be 20, I'm just noticing that it's really been kind of spiraling out of control and really consuming a lot of my time, and I'm not really sure what's driving it. I have some ideas, but I don't know.
Okay. So when you say that it's spiraling out of control, what does that look like for you?
Just means that I'm thinking about it a lot, and I'm watching what I eat a lot, and then what happens is I just find myself thinking about it so much, and with school and with all of my just stress with classes, it's just getting in the way of everything, because it's like my main thought, like, what am I going to eat? When am I going to eat? Will I be able to eat, minimally? And then it seems like by the nighttime, I just kind of, I don't know if I'm just weary or what goes on, but then I'll just find myself just kind of thinking, well, I'll just eat a little bit, and then I eat a lot, and then I get anxious about that, and then I, have made myself vomit. Sometimes I even, take a lot of laxatives, and I'm starting to feel embarrassed that my roommate's noticing, and my mom's, when she visits, she's really questioning me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just, that's how I feel, more like it's like making me feel anxious a lot.
Mm-hmm. So it's taking up a lot of your time, and it's causing you to feel anxiety, a lot of anxiety and stuff.
A lot of anxiety and a lot of consuming thoughts about food, and
right.
And then also exercising a lot, but then I notice sometimes I'm too tired to exercise, and then that makes me feel anxious, and then sometimes I'll just eat a lot, make myself be sick, or vomit, and then I'll go out on campus and I will run for an hour and a half.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So you're spending a lot of time with these thoughts, and between your thought, you're thinking about food and you're exercising and trying to eat minimally during the day, and then you, at the end of the day, you've used up all this willpower trying to eat minimally, and then you just kind of eat it all, eat everything, and then you feel anxious about that, and then you throw up. So am I hearing that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then too, I think, that it's when I do well with it, then I feel good, and when I have a couple of days when I'm really not able to control it, or able to, like, if my roommate's around a lot and I can't make myself vomit, then I get really depressed. And I'm also finding that I'm feeling depressed because I feel like it's just, I know there's got to be a healthier way, but it's like I'm kind of feel like I'm in a spiral now where I know it's not healthy for me, but I feel anxious when I don't do it, and then I feel anxious when I do it.
Right.
So it just, I just hate the way I feel all the time, and I also just want to just feel normal and just kind of eat what I want and be kind of in balance with it all, but it's just making me just feel so out of control.
Yeah, seems like a hard way to go through life. Okay, so where did all this come from? What are your thoughts behind needing to constantly watch what you eat and needing to exercise so much? Like, what are you thinking about? Is it for health reasons? Is it your physical appearance? Where's that coming from?
Well, I mean, when I think back on it and I think about just that time around 14, being just a freshman, and just my body was just changing. I was, developing, growing, and then I just started feeling like I wasn't going to be accepted or attracted if I wasn't a certain size, and my family's a little bigger boned, and my body is kind of how it is, but yet I think some of it started there, and then it's like if I don't fit into my clothes a certain way or look a certain way, I'm afraid that maybe I'll not be attractive.
Okay.
But yet my mom tells me that I look fine at the size that I am, and I've even had a couple of boyfriends that tell me that I look fine, but when I look in the mirror, it's like I just see a different thing. I see someone that looks like, or a girl that looks like she needs to be thinner.
Okay.
And so that's, I think, where it started.
So what are the feelings that, you mentioned anxiety. Is there maybe worry? Like, what are the feelings that are associated with feeling that you just need to be a certain way physically?
I guess it's just like, I'm ashamed.
Is it fear? Is it worry? Is it...
Well, I guess it's just being accepted maybe, and But
what's driving that need to be accepted? Do you fear that you're going to be alone if you're not a certain way, or do you worry that, it's just going to get out of control and you're just going to be, morbidly obese, or like what kind of feelings are behind this need to be a certain way?
Well, I guess the feelings are maybe just vanity to a certain extent, and then also the feeling is everybody seems so thin. When I look around at other girls at school, and even things that I see, in magazines, it's embarrassing to admit, but I do look at those images and I think, I'll never be like that. I'll never be thin like that.
Okay.
And then that makes me feel like maybe I won't be accepted, or even there's a certain voice inside of me that just is my own voice that says, I won't be who I want to be, which is a thin person.
So maybe is it a sense of anxiety, or inadequacy, or something like that?
Yeah, I guess maybe to a certain extent. And it also has got a little bit of kind of controlling too, where I'm trying to kind of control my body and my size and control my life a little bit. Maybe like it's something that I can control, because I can you know, eat a lot and then get out of control because or feel in control, and I can then make myself vomit.
Okay. So maybe the real issue is control. You just feel like you really need to have this really tight control over what exactly you look like. So let's put that control outside of you. Okay. We won't say that you're a controlling person. We'll say that control comes into your life and makes you act in these certain ways. So when control comes into your life, it sounds like, or when control is affecting you and how you perceive yourself, it seems to me like it makes you feel a lot of anxiety because you're maybe afraid that you're not going to measure up or that you're going to fail in some way in your eating plans or in your appearance and things like that. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Okay. And I guess, too, the other part of the control is that some things in my life do feel out of control at times, and it's something that I can't control. Right.
So you want to take the control where you're able to exercise the control. Okay, that makes sense. So when looking at this issue of control coming into your life, has there ever been times in your life where you weren't confronting this problem? Like, since you said it started when you were 14, but in that period of time, were there times within that period that you were able to kind of overcome the issues of control for a while?
Well, I guess maybe when I really think about it, like the time when I wasn't extreme like this, I did, probably maybe the summer between my senior year in high school and starting college, where I was playing a lot of soccer, and it seemed like my body was looking the way that I liked, and I felt fit and strong, and I needed to be able to play my sport well, so in order to do that I had to nourish it in a way. So I felt weak if I tried to slip back into making myself vomit. So during that time I was able to eat healthy and and I wasn't finding myself thinking about food as much. During that time, it seemed like I felt more relaxed with everything. And then it just seemed like once I started college, it just really started kicking up again. Yeah. When I wasn't playing soccer as much, and it was, I don't know, it all of a sudden just kind of started again. And then it's just really continued to just go in spurts when I've had it really excessively, like I am right now. Okay. So when you weren't having to exercise so much control, feeling the need to exercise so much control over your life, what space did that open up in your life for you in terms of like how you felt or what you were experiencing on a day-to-day basis? Well, I think just thinking back on that time, I was just a lot happier. It seemed like my parents weren't worrying about it or really watching my behaviors, and I just kind of felt more relaxed. And I also felt like it wasn't controlling me so much, and I felt like I was kind of more of a normal kid when I would go out and just hang out with my friends, and everyone was eating pizza. I wasn't really so much worrying about it. Yeah. Or thinking I should only eat like half a piece, or I'm going to go home later and eat a lot of pizza. And so it just seemed like I just felt a lot freer. Okay. You mentioned that you've had boyfriends and that they tell you that you look good and that your family tells you that you look good. It seems like, have you ever had the experience that people tell you that you don't look good? Like, do you feel like other people see you and think, oh, she's a big fat pig? Or do you feel like other people see you and just think that you look good or that you look normal? Or how do you think other people see you? Well, I mean, around that time, kind of when I first became aware of it when I was about 14. I mean, my soccer coach was kind of suggesting that I start running a little bit more after practice. And then when it was time to order our uniforms that year, he, sort of pointed out that I was going up a size, and that I might need to do some extra training over the summer. So that was like a part that sort of maybe wasn't helpful in reflection, but at the time I just was internalizing maybe a little bit some of those messages that I needed to work harder, and it really just wouldn't happen though. I guess part of it is I just need to learn to accept my body for just the size that it is. And
Okay. Well, can I pause this for a second? How do I pause this? Okay, so that seems like that was a very memorable experience for you with your coach. But aside from your coach, has anybody else ever insinuated that you're too heavy or anything since that point? People,
no,
like you said,
my mom and dad think that I look fine, and even my friends, sometimes I've even asked my best friend, do you think I look fat or I don't look healthy? And she always reassures me that I look good. And then, my mom and I have similar body types. And I do look at my mom and I think my mom looks healthy and good. And so that's what makes this kind of like so strange. That this got going and where it came from. And I guess really what made me think to come see you, because I really just want to feel good about it.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned you had boyfriends too, and that they always thought that you looked fine.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like this is just all your perspective.
Yeah, it's this thing inside, this little thing, like a little voice.
Right.
Just is like,
So what do you think if we call that voice miscontrol? Just kind of put that outside of yourself. That work for you?
Yeah, because that is kind of how it is. It's what's so strange about it. That little thing just inside says, some days it's very quiet, and then some days, for whatever reason, it'll just kind of take over, and then my mind just gets really consumed with exercise and food and what I've eaten and what I haven't and what I'm going to do later, and will my roommate be home, and can I do it, will anyone notice? And it's like that thing gets going, that little thing inside. Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, from what I'm hearing, it seems like this started for you when you were about 14 with your soccer team and whatnot. And it's been kind of on and off throughout your whole life, or since then. And it's causing you a lot of anxiety and about what to eat, what not to eat, and social situations with making yourself vomit and things like that, and it's taking up a lot of your time too, it sounds like. So what I see is being some of your strengths, first of all, that you're here, that you notice that miscontrol has come into your life, and that it's gotten too big for you to be able to manage by yourself in an effective way. So that's huge, that you were able to identify that this has become an issue for you. And also that you seem to be incredibly self-aware, because you were able to identify when it started for you and periods of your life when it wasn't really a factor in your life, and how you felt during those periods. And you've noticed all the different kinds of feelings that miscontrol has caused you to feel in your life too, in terms of anxiety and worry and all of these. You've been able to identify all of these different feelings inside of yourself. I think that because it
kind of seems good just to think about it in an external way too, I think. Instead of an inside myself thing, like something's flawed with me.
Right.
It does feel good to think about it being outside of myself.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And because you've been able to give it its own voice, it seems like you know a lot about it. And since you know so much about it, we're going to be able to work with it and figure out how you can talk back to miscontrol and live your life in a way that feels more happy and healthy for you and more comfortable.
Okay.
So we're going to work together over the next few weeks or months to create a new story for you that feels more comfortable and healthy for you. How does that sound?
That sounds hopeful.
Okay.
That sounds hopeful.